Hey, I'm back. I'm going to do another episode where I take a video from YouTube and I kind of dissect it and just give some opinion on it. Try to keep them as friendly as possible. I know sometimes I swear a little bit, and I did talk shit a little bit about Jared yesterday, but anyway, I'm going to try to keep it as friendly as possible. I just found a channel, Captain Katarn. The guy is doing really good. The channel's amazing. Go check it out. He doesn't have tons and tons of views, but it's definitely on the up and up. And I think that it's obviously scripted what he's reading. He wrote it very eloquently, put a lot of thought into it, and the guy's got some good stuff to say. So I think it's really worth checking out, and I hope you go do that. So I'm going to start out kind of with his intro here. Hope that doesn't upset him at all. And we're going to listen to his little intro, kind of give a shout out to him and his awesome channel. And then I'll kind of dissect. In this case with him, I'm going to be agreeing with a lot of what he's got to say. So I don't really want to reinvent the wheel. As I've said in other videos, I'm just kind of trying to give it my own angle and take something brilliant that I hear being said and just kind of reflect on it. It's a reflection. All right, here we go.
They sold us a universe full of every sci-fi fantasy we could want. Tight dogfights, capital ships that could reenact Star Trek, gritty FPS combat and extractions, industrial careers, crafting, mining, and eventually cities and bases players build themselves on alien worlds. Most of those systems have started to take shape. Some are already functional, others are on the horizon, and a few are clearly deep in development, whether CIG wants to admit it publicly or not. But there's one pillar that hasn't even taken its first step. One system that justifies the entire scale of this game more than any other. The one CIG keeps pointing to in marketing, but never delivers in gameplay. Of course, I'm talking about exploration gameplay. It's the fantasy that sold half the ships in this game. We might have missed the exploration age of our world, but Star Citizen's still ripe with discovery potential. And right now, after 13 years, 13, the only thing we've truly discovered is just how absent exploration gameplay actually is.
Okay, so we just heard his intro, and he's talking about exploration. He ends with saying the only thing we've actually discovered is how absent exploration is. I would say he's correct and also incorrect. I understand completely when he says that the ships were built for exploration. That I agree with, absolutely. You have so much ideas and capability, and to be honest with you, it's exciting to know what the ships are capable of that we don't really use them for. But I'm going to throw this out there, just a little devil's advocate. Have you read Shackleton? Have you read Richard Evelyn Byrd? Have you read Into the Wild? Have you read Into Thin Air? Have you read Between a Rock and a Hard Place? Have you read Solitude by Robert Kull? Have you read A Walk in the Woods by Bill Bryson? Have you read the works of John Muir? Have you read Walden? Have you read The Maine Woods? Or Walking? Or Water by Craig Childs? Just wanted to throw out some of my favorites in case you're into actual nonfiction exploration. So where I'm going with this, and I know that list was long and distinguished, but where I'm going with this is that nobody usually sends anybody out to explore with much knowledge. When you're going to map a place, he's right. It's not already mapped because you're going there to map it. However, exploration does not require a mission, in my mind. It does not require a reward. It does not require status in game or reputation, I think that real exploration is undefined. And my question is, how do you define exploration? We can all define it our own way, and nobody's wrong. If you say, I want a mission where I go out, or I want to go find something that I'm, going to sell, and we'll get into that a little bit later in his video. If you say, yeah, I want a task to follow along with, I get that. I understand that a lot of people like that. Now, I'm different. I don't want that. I don't like that. When you tell me to go out and explore, what that tells me is there's no mission. There's no knowing. We don't have any clue. We're just headed out there and we're prepared for whatever we find, and hopefully we don't die. All right, let's jump back in before I talk too much about material that's in the future in his video. Let's listen to it first, and then I'll reflect on it.
The 600i Explorer is a poorly designed luxury cruiser pretending to be a discovery platform.
Now, hold on just a minute. You're going to start ripping on my 600i, bro.
A ship that'll probably get another rework before it ever gets a real job in the verse. And now we have the Zeus ES, a compact exploration ship that I generally can't rip on. It's solid. But it was sold on the fantasy of charting the unknown, even though the unknown in this game is still unknown. Yeah, that sentence makes sense to me. Part of what makes modern militaries so effective are the systems that allow them to coordinate communications and gather information from every source at the same time. The person who has the information is king, and it reminds me of the Shadow Broker in Mass Effect, to tie it back to sci-fi. And in a game like Star Citizen, where you can sell rocks, guns, and wreckage, well, it's insane that you can't sell knowledge yet.
Okay, he mentions modern military, so maybe he was a military captain or is a captain in some branch of the military, but that's beside the point. He talks about selling guns and rocks, and you can't sell information yet. So I'm going to hit both sides on this. Yes, I agree. And you should be able to, and that would be really cool. What I think is going to happen, and probably should, is, if I think more like a treasure map, if I find something really amazing, I would prefer if it was not controlled by the mission process. I don't want to take my information that I found on my scanner and go to some dumb location like Wicklow and sell it. I don't want to do that. What I want to do is go on Global Chat or a third-party site, and I want to say, hey guys, I found something. And I'm willing to sell you the information for X number of UEC. And is there a guarantee? Maybe not. I mean, it kind of opens Pandora's box for sure, because you're gonna have people like, well, I'm not gonna pay something. Well, give me half now and half later. Well, you might not ever see the other half, so that might adjust the price. But I like the idea of secrets not getting out. And what I really don't want to see is let's say that they create a wormhole that goes to an unknown system and someone finds it. I really like the idea of it being a secret, because as soon as people find these secret locations and then post all the information all over, the secret's gone. Yeah, it still may not be on a map, but it's not the excitement of it. I kind of like how he said the word hoarding the information. You don't have to sell it. You can hoard it. Man, if I find any information out there, there's no way I'm going to go to some location and sell it for, what am I going to get for it? Not a life-changing amount, right? I would rather keep the information, share it with my buddies. And I'm not saying I'm going to be a jerk about it, but it is my information to do what I want with if I discovered it. That is exploration.
We really shouldn't hold something Dave and Will came up with years ago in a writing room as gospel if there's a better way that makes the game more interesting. The other thing I think is changing is that we aren't going to be exploring truly alien worlds in the current design. That doesn't really line up with the 5 star systems we're getting for launch. Those are all known systems.
So I really like how he just said we shouldn't take something that someone wrote down a long time ago and consider it gospel. Amen. Regarding Star Citizen, I would say that also applies. It's dynamic, it's evolving, and that's, to me, that's the excitement of it. Number one, you don't own it. They can do whatever they want. Obviously, it's partially in their best interest to do what people like. But at the end of the day, this is not a publicly traded company. You're not a stockholder just because you spent $4,000 on some cool ships. You don't have a say. They do. And also, I love the evolution of it. That's why I'm here. That's what makes it alive and exciting to me. If I go download any old dumb game that I bought for $60 that isn't really evolving, okay, there's some new skins or some different things, but it's the same old, same old. To me, that is a game. This is not that. This is a live, living, breathing, and evolving and growing and changing simulation.
I would absolutely love to see a system where you can find an uncharted jump point that takes you to a completely blank star system. Lore be damned, there is no way every star system in the galaxy has been explored already. Use the Star Wars rationale that space travel is incredibly dangerous, and scouting new hyperspace routes kills nearly every explorer. Then we can say that the systems on the star map are the ones with stable, safe jump points. That is the only thing that makes them special. When I say the system is blank, I mean your star map is completely empty in your mobiGlas. CIG could even run UEE expansion drives where players need to gather resources so NPC cities can be built there. I'm one guy, I don't have all the answers, but that sounds compelling to me.
Hey, you're not one guy anymore. We're 2 guys. I agree wholeheartedly with that idea. It's so awesome. I love the idea of coming through a jump point, and there's stuff there, but we don't know what and we don't know where. One question that I have, and this may reflect on some of my lack of understanding, is am I able to just point my nose in quantum without having a location? Because that's the only question I have. If we don't have mapped locations, how do we travel at an accelerated rate in a direction with an undefined endpoint? I think that for exploration in a system with no map, you're going to have that. And yeah, that means you're going to be sitting on your flight deck and you're going to be watching as you're in quantum. And when you see a planet coming up, you're going to shut the fucking quantum drive off immediately. You're going to slam into the planet because there's nothing that says it's there. So you're just going to drill right into it. So that also adds that element of danger you were talking about. I think that the idea of going places, yeah, maybe there's some derelict settlements or some old shit. I'm cool with all that. But I love the idea of being part of the building process. Right now, we are just in the maze and we are just being fed the cheese at the end. And we keep going around the corner trying to figure out where the cheese is. And we don't get to choose what kind of cheese it is when we finally make it to the end, if we make it. So I like the idea where, like, I mean, man, base building, we all know that's going to be phenomenal. And yeah, okay, you look at the Pledge Store now and you got some components as if they're going to allow you to build a space station. All right. How hard is it to allow me and some friends to collaborate and build a platform and have some anti-air guns and have a hab? Now, I know they've talked about that, and I know they're planning on doing that, and I understand that things take time to develop, and there's a lot of questions, and that opens a whole nother can of worms. I get it. But I think that, you know, for people like me especially, going out to an unmapped, uncharted moon that is habitable and maybe even temperate, and having some resources and building an off-grid shack, or providing resources for NPCs to build a town nearby. Yeah, I'll contribute to that. I'm really excited about that. I feel like a lot of times right now we're kind of just drinking the Kool-Aid that is being handed to us with no real say over it. And like I said here in my last little talking clip is, yeah, we're not in charge, and I understand that. But we could be given some choose your own adventure type things. And that's tongue in cheek too, because when I go into Star Citizen, it's always choose my own adventure. I make my own missions. I take a Cyclone and say, can I get to the top of that mountain? You want to race me? Where can we go? Let's off grid, take some stuff with us. Let's go shoot animals. Or like, I'm always trying to come up with something new and entertaining to do. And the reality is I need to link up with more people. I'm oftentimes by myself, and I would enjoy the camaraderie. Now, I've got a friend who is right around the corner from building a PC simulation, and I am very, very excited about bringing him into the verse. He is much like me in that he appreciates the beauty of it and the expanse, and he wants to just go and see. He has no idea, no freaking clue what he's in for once he gets into Star Citizen. So it's all just discussion. I'm not upset. I don't have all the ideas or the solutions. I'm just kind of reflecting here on what the captain said and thinking, what does that look like in the future? What would I like to see come out of this? And it's all with excitement. I'm really excited about all of it.
This also gives smaller orgs and solo players a realistic way to matter. You might not have the manpower to lock down an area and blitz it with a full industrial fleet, but you can take an exploration ship out to the edge of civilization, map a handful of high-value pockets, and sell that info to someone who does. You get paid for being first, for being careful, and for being smart enough to get home with a drive's worth of lucrative coordinates.
All right, I didn't include all of that last little clip that he had, but I included some of it. He basically is talking about his concept of scanning and mapping unknown areas, whether it be bringing back the information, selling it, using it. I just included this last little bit that he touches on. He says if you don't have a big org and you don't have the resources to mine, and I love how he worded this, I'm going to paraphrase. He said if you're a solo player and if you're out and you're prepared and you're careful and you can acquire the information and then you can safely bring it back to the point that it has value, then that means that you and your little mission has value to you as well as other people. I love that. I love that so much because it tells me that if I do go out and explore, and if let's say that I go out and explore in my own little way and I'm not really serious about anything, but I stumble across something. Am I going to go out and mine it all? Maybe, maybe not. I'm more likely to sell the information and just buy the resources that I may need. Speaking of buying the resources and talking about base building and all of that, I thought of something that's really, really important, possibly the most profound thing that I can say right now about Star Citizen. We are homeless. Okay? I understand we have a hangar. I understand we have ships that we can sleep in. I understand that we have a home base. It's like saying this is your hometown. But we are homeless. We are running around. And I don't know if you've ever been homeless or if you've ever worked on the road like I do. If you're away from home a long period of time, I don't care how much food and water you got. I don't care if you're on sunny beaches or you got the coolest spaceship in the game. Homeless is homeless. When you feel deep down inside that sense that no place is really special or important to me, that is, I believe, a natural human feeling. And And I know they're talking about base building, and I know I'm a little ahead of myself here, but I don't know if anyone has used the actual term homeless. We are all homeless. Allow us to be home, please.
If CIG leans into that kind of system, exploration ships stop being expensive sightseeing buses and start becoming the brains of the resource game. They become the reason orgs move and find the best locations for bases. And even if we never get my dream of unstable jump points into blank frontier systems, that version of exploration still turns curiosity into something concrete. It turns, I wonder what's out there, into, I know what's out there and I can sell it. So that's my read on it. I think CIG's original vision for exploration has already shifted, and some of you might hate it. Maybe you think I'm dead on, or think I'm completely out to lunch. Either way, I want to hear it. If you made it this far, you're already one of the crew, so get subscribed because there's so much more to talk about.
I think you're really onto something here, and I also think that the eloquent and analytical way that you bring it all together in your video is fantastic. I like some of your unique ideas as far as the scanning and everything goes. As my summary should go, do I think exploration is dead? No. Do I think exploration has potential? Yes. Do I think everybody explores in different ways and there are different ways to explore? Yes. I think that my grand finale kind of summary thought on all of this is ask yourself as the individual, how do you define exploration? Because it's really a moving target and it's something different for all of us. There's pros and cons, and there always will be. I also want to comment on the end of your video. It says that if I made it this far, I am part of the crew. I'm so excited. I need friends in Star Citizen so bad. So, does that mean that I get to join up with you guys because I watched to the end of the video? Or are you going to come find me and befriend me in Star Citizen and we can go do some cool stuff together? I'll go exploring. I'll go out to the far reaches with my ship and bring all the supplies we can pack like we're going on a camp out. We'll go out exploring. Just know that I'm going to bring the 600. All right. See you guys.